KIIT University, you may now begin with your presentation.
Wendell Berry once said, "Soil is the great connector of lives, source and destination of all. It is the healer, restorer, and resurrector by which disease passes into health, age into youth, death into life. Without proper care for it, we can have no community. Because without proper care for it, we can have no life."
Soil, the essence of human civilization. Soil, the quintessence of agriculture, and agriculture, the essence of life, have been of great paramount since the advent of human civilization.
In a developing country like India, agriculture is the third largest contributor in economy. It employs every second person in this country and accounts for around 10% of the total export. The availability of food grains has increased from 452 to over 476 grams per capita per day, even after the country's population almost doubled, swelling from 548 million to nearly 1,000 million.
This hints at an enhanced efficiency on the part of the farmers, since all of their increase in the production has resulted from yield gains rather than expansion of cultivated area. However, there is a catch. This increase in efficiency comes for a price. The price here being degradation of the quality of the soil and biomagnification caused due to use of pesticides and fertilizers in abnormal quantities.
Fertilizers can greatly increase crop yields, but they also cause environmental pollution and erode the very fabric of the soil. This results in a myriad of health problems ranging from heart disease to a higher likelihood of cancer. All these problems of Indian agriculture manifest in Odisha as well. In the face of all these problems, the first solution that comes to mind is organically grown produce.
We, the student leaders at Enactus KIIT, present to you Project Aikya.
Today, several parts of Odisha, like Bhubaneswar and Cuttack, have been undergoing transformation of a scale unprecedented in Indian history. Bhubaneswar, being the capital of the state, has seen a spurt in populace, based mostly in the upper echelons of the society.
Rapid economic growth has brought a lot of people into the global economic middle class, due to which they have access to healthcare, quality education, and jobs. With the rise in educated and health-conscious mass, the demand of organically grown food has rapidly increased in last few years.
A timely initiative was the need of the hour, and this is when we met Mr. KIIT. He was associated with a non-governmental organization called Living Farms. Living Farms works with the small-scale farmers and consumers to improve the food security and uphold the principle of food sovereignty. In total, this organization has worked with 12,000 households and a population of nearly 60,000 people.
Prior to us, Living Farms had helped a community of 15,000 farmers in Raigada district of Odisha to move from traditional to organic farming. The farmers had very well adapted to the unconventional practices of growing organic crops and could successfully harvest within a span of 18 to 20 months.
But the consequences did not roll in their favor. Understanding and adapting to the unconventional practices of organic farming turned out to be the least of their problems. After all the hard work and money that was put into a yield, the farmers could not get the prices they deserved. This, added with the lack of a proper storage facility, meant that the produce would not last long. Even non-perishable items such as rice, food grains, would be vulnerable to drones.
Due to this, they were forced to sell their produce at half the decided price. Moreover, the concept of organic food was not completely understood by the people at Raigada. Even after the higher investment, they could not price their products accordingly, because higher rates simply meant that better part of their consumer would opt for cheap inorganic products.
Aikya was started with the name to provide the struggling farmers at Raigada with a stable market to sell their produce and get the prices they deserve, as well as to take advantage of the niche market that was created for reasonably priced organic produce in the city.
Our operation started with a trial in select areas and neighborhoods of the city. The selection based mostly on societal financial divisions, with our focus being on upper middle class families.
After having identified major residential areas, we conducted a door-to-door survey of the major pulses and food grains being consumed by the residing families. The main motive of the survey was to find out the potential demand our products could generate and simultaneously spread the benefits of organic farming.
With our market research in hand, we finalized a product line which primarily contained 5 items, namely organic rice, finger millets, sesame seeds, black gram and turmeric. These products were transported from Raigada and were stored at a local godown with the help of living farms.
Simultaneously, we were in talks with the nearby grocery merchants to put dedicated sections to sell our produce. They were skeptical at first, but after explaining them how they would be able to reach out to even more people by catering to the needs of the health-conscious society, they accepted our proposal. Finally, in the month of March, we started selling our produce from 4 local grocery stores.
For the next few months, advertising and sales went hand in hand. As a better part of our target market of families, we went ahead with the most effective and economical option, inserting custom-made flyers along with the newspapers. In those pamphlets, we cited how our products were safer in comparison to those which were currently available in the market.
After having, in our first advertising campaign, we targeted 3 residential areas and reached to around 150 families in the complexes. With an investment of ₹6 per flyer, we could see a spike of 5 to 10% in our daily sales. Satisfied with the turnout, we conducted 2 more similar campaigns.
When sales looked to be notable at that point, we still had the task to get our produce labeled or certified to be organic. Needless to say, we are missing out on a huge chunk of our target market because of this.
The certification of organic produce is quite a tedious affair. Apart from the regular safety measures, there are a lot of other factors playing a role too. There are issues like retention of chemical in the soil from before. Also, if other plants around the land are using pesticides, then it might seep into the soil, into our organic land, thus defeating the very purpose of organic farming. All these parameters and many more have to be carefully scrutinized before adjusting a produce to be organic.
India Organic is a certification mark which certifies that an organic food product conforms to the national standards of organic products. Those standards ensure that the product or the raw materials used in the product were grown through organic farming without the use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides or induced hormones.
Obtaining the India Organic certification requires the farmers to be growing organic produce for at least 2 to 3 years. However, our farmers have been growing organic produce for just over a year in lands which was previously used for growing inorganic produce. This created a serious impediment in our endeavors to further market the produce as organic.
Nevertheless, we did not give up at this juncture and decided to move forward with the revised strategy. Since we did not have the organic label, we decided to market our products as clean and healthy food, grown without the use of any chemical or to our target customer base, even without the actual tag of being organic. Working with this approach, we managed to generate a total revenue of 24,000 in a little more than 3 months, selling around 300 kilograms of organic produce.
During our visits to Raigada for Project Aikya, we observed the nitty-gritties of farming and storage of crops grown by the farmers. Several issues came out, but the most alarming one was that of storage of perishable crops.
With some research, we found out that this problem is not just affecting the farmers of Odisha or Raigada. Even the whole country suffers a loss of 1.5 billion tons of food to the loss of grains and vegetables. Every year, 1.3 billion tons of food is wasted. All this while 1 in every 7 persons sleeps hungry, and more than 20,000 children under the age of 5 die every day from hunger.
Odisha is predominantly an agrarian state with agriculture and animal husbandry contributing 17.2% to the gross state domestic product. It provides employment and sustenance directly or indirectly to more than 60% of the populace and is the single largest employment sector of the state. Hence, development in the field of agriculture holds the key to the economic development of the state.
On top of that, Odisha's climate has undergone a considerable change due to various factors. The annual mean temperature is generally above 22 degrees. Summers are terribly hot and humid, and temperatures can be as high as 45 degrees. The highest monthly rainfall totals 330 mm in the month of August. The average humidity varies from 70 to 80%. The increase in temperature has adversely affected the agricultural food production in the recent years.
Now let's see how this affects our farmers. The average shelf life of most fruits and vegetables is at most 2 days, which increases to almost a week when properly stored. Refrigerators on an average consume 55 to 60 kilowatt hours, which is a luxury that many farmers cannot afford. Lack of proper refrigeration mechanisms means that the produce would not last long. As a result, farmers incur huge losses, which, in addition to the already prevailing trend, is a rising factor in increasing cases of farmer suicides.
As per available government data, over 10,000 villages in Odisha are not connected to the national grid. Moreover, the concept of organic food is not completely understood by them.
To counter with these issues, we came up with the idea of micro cold storage system, an affordable and convenient means of keeping vegetables and fruits fresh. It aims at providing support to the farmers who are not well off and cannot afford to purchase a refrigerator or pay the high electricity bills.
Our product is prepared from easy to avail materials such as sand, clay and water. Our product uses a very simple idea of evaporation and condensation to create a temperature difference of 10 to 12 degrees with respect to the ambient temperature.
The various impact that muCS aims to have is provide an alternative source of income for the farmers and improve their skills.
To increase the shelf life of food products from 2 days to almost a week.
To increase the profits through food sales. As the farmers are no longer in a rush to sell food to avoid spoilage, they can sell their food according to demand and can command higher prices.
In our survey, we looked for potters who could contribute to the making of this micro cold storage system and had no other source of income. We came across a potter community of 62 families in the Barak block of Cuttack, which had an average of 6 members per family, with only 3 working members in each family. The entire livelihood of this family depends on these 3 working members.
Shibu, one of our beneficiaries, states that their business flourished during festival, as a chief portion of their family income is earned by the sculpture making for occasions such as Ganesh Chaturthi, Vishwakarma Puja and Durga Puja, thus increasing the demand in the market as well as their family income rises to 8 to 9,000 per month.
Sadly, in the rest 8 months, pottery is the sole source of income for these families, reducing the per person monthly income as low as 3 to 4,000 rupees.
Through our project muCS, we hope to provide an alternative and better employment opportunity to the potters in Baran district, and hence aim at improving the living standards of their lives. With an amount of ₹300, a micro cold storage device will aim to help those potters augment their income by 3 to 4,000 rupees per month throughout the year. Directly impacting the lives of these potters, we also aim to impact the lives of several thousand farmers who suffer a huge loss due to rotting of their crops, fruits and vegetables.
Our prototype consists of 2 clay pots placed one inside the other, increasing the surface area as well as volume. Space in between the pots is filled with sand, which increases the evaporation rate. Liquid, such as water, is poured in the sand, which is used as a coolant. We chose water for this project because it is readily available and it removes a large amount of heat per kilogram of evaporation as compared to other coolants in the minimal price range.
For over 2 months, our team worked extensively on the prototype to come up with an economical and efficient design. The principle behind this system is quite simple: evaporation and condensation of water. With a mixture of different kinds of clay, sand and coolant, we recorded a temperature drop of 12 to 15 degrees centigrade when the readings were taken for every 2 hours in different days.
A temperature difference of 12 to 15 degrees in a region which has an average temperature of 35 degrees can create a huge impact. With this determination in our minds, we plan to implement this project in Bhubaneswar as well as Raigad.
The next year, we plan to increase the customer base of the potters in Baran and in turn increase the revenue to a more consistent one with a spike of 3 to 4,000 rupees per potter per month. Over the next 2 months, we plan to improve our prototype to make it more efficient and user-friendly.
In the coming year, we aim to generate a revenue of Rs 3 lakhs through the sales of our produce.
Where others saw challenges, we saw opportunity. An opportunity to foster change.
An opportunity to inculcate the spirit of entrepreneurship.
An opportunity to provide a life of dignity.
An opportunity to bring progress.
We are Enactus KIIT.
We shall now move on to the question and answer round. Judges, please put your hands up.
Could you evaluate the productivity of organic farming versus normal farming? That's point number 1. Point number 2, could you evaluate other options of chilled refrigeration and therefore any microfinancing required for that? You want me to repeat the question? Yeah. I would like you to evaluate the productivity of organic farming versus normal farming. 2 is, did you look at other options of chilled refrigeration and therefore higher cost than microfinance?
For this, we have chosen this product for cooling purposes because it is readily available and can be made with the help of potters, and the ingredients that we use are readily, they are simply available like clay, sand, water, and they are cheap. When if we use different methods of refrigeration like microcooling or other purposes, our revenue and our cost increases. So to minimize our cost, we have opted this method.
I would like to add to this answer. The productivity of organic and inorganic food, when we compare, obviously the productivity of inorganic food is much more than organic food because we are using external supplements like pesticides and chemicals, which is increasing the rate of production. So when we are using pesticides, we are increasing the productivity but decreasing the amount of health. We are decreasing the healthiness of the food. So when we are trying to promote organic food, we are trying to look into a more healthier way than into the production. We are not in a business mind to increase the productivity, but we are in a business mind to improve health through production.
I would like to add one more point to this. So what happens is when you are opting for inorganic farming, over the period of time, the nutrient quality of the soil depletes because of the externally added chemicals. When you are actually opting for organic farming, the production may reduce as compared to inorganic farming in the short term, but when you compare it with the long term run, you see that the organic farming methods have a better output because the quality of the soil does not deplete to that extent the way it does in inorganic farming. So that is why we also promote organic farming among these farmers.
How do you compensate the farmers in terms of lower productivity organic farming?
So actually the thing about this is the farmers are actually having problems. They actually had problems with inorganic farming that they actually were ready to move to organic farming. So the NGO we are working with is Living Farms. So they had consulted with them. They came up with a report that the water issue increases over time. So water consumption by the produce increases over time. The level of water has been decreasing, and they have faced a lot of issues in the past period of time. So when we read all about this, we realized the importance of organic farming, and their willingness to actually move to organic farming was the biggest strength that we had in taking up this project.
In the marketing of organic produce, what I was not able to understand in your presentation is how did you make sure that you were able to get a better price than what is realized through conventional farming? Because you did say that the produce reduces because of organic farming in the short run. But if you're able to sell the produce at a better price and your marketing strategies are geared, then that part was not, whether your marketing strategies are geared to ensure that was not really evident. So can you throw some light on how you went about it? Because one of the well-known problem areas is the number of middlemen and how the farmers are not able to get a fair price for their produce. So after doing all this, how are you kind of taking it to the last leg of improving the marketing chain?
So thank you so much for this question. This is a very good question, but as you mentioned in your question itself, that middlemen have been a big problem for these farmers, because the middlemen actually take away a lot of the chunk of the profit they are actually able to make out of these produce that they are making. So when we are coming into this picture, the profit section of the middleman is cut out. So all apart from that, the NGO Living Farms is contributing to this project in a way that they are
I'm afraid, but we've actually run out of time. Thank you so much. Judges, please join me in thanking KIIT University.